So, Vincent, how did you get involved with what Josiah saw? Because this is an interesting movie.
Thanks. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for your time. How did I get involved? Well, the writer I'd known for about 5 or 6 years, and I really had responded and liked several of his scripts. None of them horror, or even, I mean, there were more drama, thrillers, action even. But he was sending me pages at a time, and I was really responding to it. I hadn't seen or read anything like it, even outside of his stuff. It had a very fresh take. You read a lot of scripts, to be honest, out here, when you're a filmmaker looking for your next thing and just
Right.
wanting to read good material. And the one thing I can say about his stuff is I don't know if it feels written for me, but I love everything he writes for the most part. Even ones I'm like, not for me to direct, but I'm always thoroughly engrossed, engaged, entertained, laughing, like whatever he's focusing on. For me, I just respond to it.
Right. And
And
how was it like getting the cast together for this? Because you got Nick Stahl, you got Robert Patrick, and you got Tony Hale involved in this somehow. I mean, he rarely does stuff like this, and his performance in this was just flat out amazing. So how was it like working with those three on this?
well, Tony Hale, he was in my last film and we became good friends. And so luckily I can just ask him, hey man, come and be in this movie. It's a cool role, something you haven't done before. Not that I've seen. He grew out his beard. Uh,
Right.
and so I think he was just excited to help a brother out and do something unique and different, come out for a little bit. And so yeah, that's how I got Tony, just being a buddy. He's the type of actor I'd like to put in every movie if I can, at least some sort of cameo. And Nick Stahl, I had been a fan of his growing up. And we're similar in age, so I was seeing him in movies at the same time I was in the impressionable years as a filmmaker. So the movies I was seeing Nick in, like In the Bedroom or Bully, I really respected as a filmmaker. And so I just always liked him. And I'd seen he had been back acting for a little bit after taking a long sort of break hiatus, and he fit the character. I mean, he really brought the qualities in Eli that would make you like him. I needed people to want to root for him or sympathize for him, considering all the dark shit he had gone through, and his sort of qualities as a human being weren't great. So Nick brings a likability and a sort of softness to him that I needed. And Robert Patrick, he God, he's a beast. He is just he's a very respected actor who I've always held in high regard. And to even just have the shot to circumvent agents to get to
Right.
him through one of my good friends, another actor, Ronnie Blevins, who plays the role in the film with Nick Stahl. He's one of the guys who goes to the carnival with him. He worked with Robert on Tone Deaf, and
Yeah, yeah.
he told me, he's like, look, man, you should really consider Robert for this part. And he introduced us, and we were able to have a FaceTime while Robert was filming another movie in New Jersey. And Robert liked the script. Um, Still, I think on the fence about doing it because of its sort of intense things that happen in the
Yeah.
movie. Really liked it though, and I think he just needed to know he was in good hands. So he watched my previous film and knew that I was tackling this movie very from a mature standpoint, not stylized. And you know, I think if you made this movie another way, it could have been a disaster. But so I think our approach with it really kind of reined it in, grounded it, and I think that's all Robert needed to know. And then he really committed.
Right. And I like how you brought that up because a lot of this, if you filmed it a different way, excuse me, it can be kind of taken as shock value rather more than, an actual film that you're watching. So how did that play out in your head too with certain scenes and especially that one with Eli and his father on the bed. I'm not going to get into specifics about that one scene in the movie, but just how was it filming that with Robert Patrick? Because I bet there had to be a lot of convincing going on in that scene.
Well, not so much convincing because I think when most of these actors, when they read that and get through the script and they think about, that's a scene you definitely think about, talk about. They knew it was necessary, and that's how I knew, like, okay, they're right for this, because it is a very purposeful thing. It isn't for shock value or just gratuity.
Right.
It very ingrained into why it's very necessary, especially considering shortly after that we leave that chapter, and it was a tool, and really, for me, the audience going, I don't want to be here anymore in that chapter. This is 25 minutes in and this is happening. Get me out of here. And so to leave there and to have the audience go, be cool with it, I think for it to be something that impactful, it gave them permission to go on this other journey, a bit of reprieve, and knowing, like, we're going to go back to that house, and what the hell is going to be happening when we go back there. And I think that scene really helps catapult that. And most of the actors knew it was something that was necessary. Some people that didn't do the movie, it was more of like, I can go there, I don't want to go there,
Right.
but don't change it in the screenplay, because it works. It's really important. And that scene, though, to film, oof, it was really awkward,
Right.
for everyone, for Robert, for Scott, for me. We kept it very simple, very raw, didn't overshoot it, and let them do it. And at some point, I remember both of them like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right. They couldn't look at each other for a little while, right?
Yeah. No, they were not, and it was awkward. There's no easy way around that scene. The terrifying thing for me is that if we shot it and for somehow it didn't cut together, or it just didn't work, the movie could fall apart. There's a lot of moments in this story, the whole entire Thomas performance, if not done well by Scott Haze, movie falls apart. There's a lot of things that I think we took a leap with, and luckily it didn't fall apart. So I'm just grateful for that.
Right. And Scott Haze is such a underrated actor, I feel like. So getting him in this just had to be, okay, I'm getting a good character actor here, because, I remember seeing him with stuff like with James Franco back in the day, when he was first starting out. So how was his chemistry on set with everybody as well?
Scott is definitely different than any of the actors on the set. He's very intense with his process, very committed, very dialed in. I wouldn't say method actor, because method actors sort of live in that character
Right.
24/7. Scott is dialed into every nuance of what he's doing. And if you don't have your shit together in terms of what you want as a director, I could see how it could be intense. But he had been attached to the movie 4 or 5 years before we started shooting, so him and I were really in sync with what we needed to do with this character. And it's kind of amazing to watch these actors work. Scott is, when he's acting, he's thought about all this stuff, and it's sort of something you trust as a director with these actors. You throw them in there, you don't have a ton of time to rehearse, you don't have any time to rehearse, and you just hope they've done their homework, and all of them are very professional, and they sure did do their homework. So yeah, I mean, they're all really respected and dedicated people that care about the stuff they're doing.
Well, Vincent, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been fun, and congratulations.
I appreciate your time, man.
You as well.